gets a advantage from it. That is a worry. Of course, he got kill and assist over onto Ice as well, who is going for that poke build. So the poke core of BDS, it is very much getting close to being online. Vitality needs to be very careful now how they approach fights. If they take too long, you get multiple spears and arrows coming through. That's exactly what BDS want.
Nico is the noisiest champion in League of Legends.
Oh, unless there's that bug with Corki Gatling Gun. Then then Korean Lysandra. That is also quite loud.
Korean Lysandra is very loud, yeah. I mean, it's like Japanese Tarek. Yeah, that was loud.
No.
Japanese Tarek. Hang on, that's the right game. That's the right game. Enterprise, whatever you call it.
All right, you go.
That was in the game.
Yes, it was.
That was not me.
Yeah, the other things are too.
Japanese Tarek is not me. That is the game company I know and love, Right Games. Okay, that's not me. Okay, that happened. That was the thing.
That is a thing which has been mentioned. Search it at your
leisure.
Yep.
Oh boy. I mean, look, there's some great setup. Nuke ulties right into the Hearts 113, but the spear doesn't connect because of it. He'll be on the run. Another spear, hoping, willing, not succeeding.
Second time he's gone for that Tristana Insect. Narco now has Flash, no ult. Anyone else coming down here? There's a Nico. Paris are coming down too. Paris can Flash ult, look for the knockup.
Boy, he close. Narco with a good dodge away, but it enables the turret plating to go to Nuke. Niski now spotted out, takes a spear to the heart, and meanwhile, we're getting a picture-in-picture because Irrelevant is just absorbing pressure from Kazi, but 113 is going to start up Dragon number 2.
And Vitality, I guess they don't feel like they have the big items right now. They don't have their one item spike. The grubs have spawned on the top side, Dragon on the bot side. Vitality, I mean, it's dangerous to give up so many objectives, but can you really fight? You got to hard force if you're going to, because again, the poke and the hooks are threatening already, actually.
Yeah, 113 is also running out of mana slowly but surely. Inside of the jungle, I think that'll become less of an issue as he slowly heals that up thanks to the passive, but as Ice looks for mid-wave, Vitality have a chance to move in the river and try and get an objective of their own.
There is a danger here, though, that if Vitality start this up, well, we'll see if this can test, but they are distracted by hitting the Dragon, and they're pinned up against the wall. It is easier to hit skill shots on them while they're like this. BDS, do they want to move towards it? No, they're not. I'll choose to give that one up. So Vitality, Kazi,
hang on.
Careful.
Flash, is he going to do it? No, minion wave in the way. Paris was thinking about it for sure, as Nuke is going to face check here into an Aatrox after Dragon's done, but he buffers the Infernal Chains. Rocket jump out while Irrelevant. The cost of that, as well as getting grubs, is Irrelevant getting solo time with the turret, plating as well. Shark might have to use the Realm Warp to stop another wave being denied.
Grubs to BDS. Dangerous when you have a Tristana. Yeah, this is the thing now. You're going to give a lot of plates over while all this is happening. You're just going to immediately bomb the turret. And well, there's Demolish used by Narco on the bot side. Full turret going to be spread between Nuke and Irrelevant. A lot of plate gold over towards them. And we just saw what Nuke did with a bunch of gold in that last game. He has been a very consistent late game damage source for BDS. If they reach that point, it can peel for him effectively. Maybe a warning sign here for Vitality.
I feel like Nuke on this Tristana just got so much influx. And we are now, as you just said, you know, like, he feels like old Mr. Reliable. Narco's trying to get plating of his own, but the gold is skyrocketing. BDS, 2k gold ahead, but I'm seeing an Italy, I'm seeing a Tristana, I'm seeing a Renekton, all with leads of their own. I'm seeing a Lethality Varus in control of the game as well. All conditions are being met for BDS to around these next couple of objectives. Poke out and one-shot Vitality.
I mean, yes, hang on a second. Irrelevant might go towards something onto Narco here. Does he really want to pull
He's
this?
all right.
No,
he's going to walk out.
fine. Just a But sometimes I get baited by the camera. Even I'm like, you're doing something a little bit more there, observers. You wanna, yeah. You doing okay there, observers? By the way, do you want to give us a little nod if you're doing okay? You okay, observers? Oh,
that was a nod.
That was a nod. They're doing okay.
Sensitivity's a bit
We'll
low,
give them extra rations into their enclosure after this game.
We're not letting them out though.
No, that'd be fun.
The observers aren't getting let out.
No.
Back to the basement, and we'll talk to you next week.
Many concerning things.
I have to say joke or something, I think.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. You know, yeah.
What if I'm not joking? Well, PDS.
Where's the risk?
It's a minute till the next objective. That's top. But I look towards mid, and I'm waiting because Blitzcrank, when he's in a game, you just think, when's he going to find the next hook?
Well, in a 1v3 in mid lane, Kazi's clearing out as best he can, but can't stop him hitting the turret. Niski potentially on the other side here. I mean, Niski has flash, has a chance of a big engage at some point. We'll see when he wants to pull the trigger. Of course, you've seen players like Jun, of course, on GX doing some magnificent work on that. Mickey had a great game on the other day. Players worldwide have been showing that Nico on the flash timing, especially with the boosted lucidity now, giving more summoner cooldown, can absolutely change the game. Absolutely change the game. I think that actually Nico maybe has the highest ceiling to impact a game as a support of any support champion right now, with the ability, particularly when you're building that proto belt, huge 5-man engages.
Yeah.
Your vision play, yes, you're also very fragile at the same point. You can't be caught out of position, you will die, and it will kind of suck. So Niski, as someone who's new to the support role, see whether he can impact that a little later on. I think that they'll need him to be that big engage. Yes, there's a Realm Warp to help. Yes, Narco can flank as well, but really looking for him to be an instigator on Vitality.
Well, 113 gets Tangle Barbs up. Nako sees this as an opportunity, but Paris with the cover. A clone out. Niski, we all know that needs to be nerfed. That's there for 5 seconds. What the hell? And it can move.
Yeah.
Now, Nico needs to be changed as Vitality. Okay, Herald starts off. We focus in, eyes on the prize. BDS will not stop this if they just linger.
Over that wall. Hook misses. He actually dodged he guessed the right dodge there. Didn't quite get the distance on it though. Niski in the brush, using the clones again, blocking that out. Good route.
Tangle Barbs again has been really great from Niski. It just slows down the play from BDS. Mid is open though, and Ice is going to use this opportune moment. Takes down the turret. 3k though, and still not over yet. Paris with the setup of a hook. Pop Blossom though does nothing. Paris set up the static field, and it made it a nightmare as BDS now turn the play. They steal the Herald as well, and Irrelevant is chasing down Kazi in a lot of trouble as the Infernal Chains brings back a target unusable by Vitality. Everything snatched from the palm of their hands.
The Nico's got great power, but it does come with great responsibility to position well. Know that you have a lower HP bar. Gets hit by that Varus ultimate, couldn't flash in for the big follow-up on the Pop Blossom. And that's what really turned this fight. There's a hook onto him. Doesn't actually become the biggest issue you think. That's actually the big issue there. The Varus ult landing just afterwards. If that doesn't hit, you could potentially get a big 3-4 man ultimate and allow Narco to get into the play without committing the flash or something like that. So Niski, bit of a swing and a miss. Doesn't use the flash, can maybe look to use that on the next ult cooldown, but in this battle of kind of flamboyant supports, Paris wins.
Well, Irrelevant might be getting dove as we come back to live though. Look at the wave thinned out, and with the minions gone, a little bit harder to kill, but eventually dropping regardless. Vitality, it's going to be a trade for them because Herald, not only that, sets up the Bob, but it's actually going to set up for another turret. They got 6 grubs as well.
Yeah.
With Nidalee E.
And Tristana. All of that
turret's gone.
They are the demo squad right now. Bring out the TNT. Inner turret goes down, and Nuke's got bank, baby. He gets paid. 6 grubs getting up towards the dragon as well. Yeah, they just got everything on the payroll. Nice.
It is a map masterclass here. And Irrelevant, I mean, also getting that top wave too.
What's it like? Zaya gets Rakan, Trinivir gets Ashe. What does Nuke get? Paid.
Paid.
Gets everything there.
Tristana gets turrets. Her love language is turrets. I can understand why.
You got me a brick, my favorite.
Look at all the things I can buy with this. I mean, BDS in this early game, it's been pretty clean. Like, Vitality's options have been limited, and I think in these last 2 games, we've seen a recurrent theme that, like, BDS really prioritized dragons. Ice and Paris have had good laning phases, and 113 has been playing a lot more towards bot side, and it's been successful. I mean, their dragon stacking has given them condition. Even in the game they lost, it still gave them, I guess you could use the word momentum, in what later could be used to force their 5v5 fights.
And, you know, Vitality walked away with a very good game one in terms of the execution in their team fights later. Second game, that was, hang on a second, might have a catch here. They're going to be able to stop the bag. They should be able to. Nuke caught out, does have ult and flash.
He's waiting to W over the wall. That's Niski, and yeah, he just collapsed the cheeks, I think. That's a fair thing to say.
Is it?
It really is, because there was just...
Look, you can choose the words which you want. I will just occasionally question them. I think that's my right as someone else who has a microphone next to you.
That's okay. You got to keep it in balance.
Sometimes.
You got to make sure that we don't
Everything in balance is all things should be.
Yes, that is a quote from a champion in the game. Surely.
I mean, probably, yeah. I mean, do you know what else is a quote? I mean, there's also like coward. You know, I found out the German word for cowards.
What is it?
The other day, Feigling.
Is that what he shouts out when he ults?
I don't know whether it's whether it's Feiglinger.
Okay.
But if someone can confirm whether he says that in German, confirm. Thank you, Lena, again. Confirm. It's wonderful. Great. I hope that's made your day better. It's made my day better.
Well, you remember, I mean, I played in Chinese solo queue for 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know what I expected with Chinese Twitch, but when he always popped out and said, ni hao, like, every time I was like, oh, that's right. That's right.
I really love it on the D&D skin as well, where everything's just pitch shifted a couple of octaves up. We do have Nico clones flying around the Rift a little bit more again. Things go... Oh, this is actually a big point. I should probably mention this too. If you're playing... We talked about mid lane turret in the first couple of games. Everyone knows mid lane's important. It's even more important against Blitzcrank, because now suddenly you've got much more access to walk into these kind of avenues, and out of Fog of War, a hook that can just one-shot you, it can just fly out of there. What that means is that Vitality will have to drop more jungle camps, they'll have to drop more waves if they're not confident in farming all 5 of them as well. And right here, this is terrifying. Right?
Yeah. A nice pick. Nucko pops the ulti. Flies! Vitality. I thought they were caught, but Nucko is harder to kill.
Yeah, that was a fish that they couldn't land. Get the Nucko on the hook, but they can't get a kill out of it. They lose one instead. Lindsay's actually looking for something now.
Irrelevant with the dominance. The hook lands again onto Niski. The first target secured. Irrelevant ran in to get the kill, but he's getting chased by Kazi. He can't deal with the fire. Chayak looking for this front to back. This newfound love of a fight. He won't find anything more. Paris is waiting for another hook follow-up, but Vitality, there's not even a dragon there. They were just looking for the pick. They responded well.
I mean, Niski had already used his ultimate. It's not the worst thing to lose in there, I suppose, if you're going to lose anyone. Kazi picks up a kill. He's very happy with that one. And it's going to close some of that gold gap with that Varus. And yeah, this is the difficulty of playing against the Blitzcrank. You lose that mid lane turret, you lose a lot of damage in that Fog of War, but you do bring him into melee range, and he does get a lot of healing with that ultimate. Even through that Ignite, he heals an absurd amount. Gets to survive. Kazi gets to come through with some of the plasma, even though the Nico doesn't get that much value. After this, you have used some of your bigger tools. Kazi has double buffs, importantly, from this, and he's just kind of railing through the enemy front line. And I think BDS just couldn't close down the carries that they thought they could.
And Kazi got a big shutdown from that as well. BDS cheering because the goal that was sitting on 1-1-3, or rather Vitality up, this goal that was sitting on that Nidalee has been transferred ever so slightly. Third item on the way, Kazi to watch. Here in this game that is building bridges to our mid-game interest. As Dragon spawns in 25.
I just realized why he took so much damage. That's an Edge of Night. I hadn't tracked my Renekton builds. I didn't think they built different stuff nowadays.
I don't remember the last Edge of Night Renekton I've seen.
Yep, me neither. It's been a while since we've seen that one come out. Both of them have the Shojin, which gives them some HP. Nuke will, again, get paid. Yay, bricks. He loves those things. Atkan started up, though, in BDS. Let's see if they can land some skill shots.
Niski's hovering over the wall. It's all about that Pop Blossom. You're right, no flash available. Paris is looking for an angle as Nucko's found one onto Irrelevant. Irrelevant has just been tagged into the Dominus. Nucko's done his job, but now Vitality have to do their steal. BDS have got an option. They've got to revive. But Kazi on top of Nuke. It's all about how the 5v5. Look at Chayak as well, spreading the love, spreading the demons, and inside at night, he cries and claws because Chayak, chasing down Ice, is ready to relive his past. A death, a death, a death. Everybody loses the Artican. A steal, but Vitality wipe them all.
It's just less gold going over. It means that they're not around for the Dragon. No, this is without your big Niski Nico ultimate. Again, you don't have that flash really available. Not the biggest. I suppose this time he actually does lock up some here. The big thing here, though, is that Nucko gets the spell shield off of Ice, gets a load of HP. Nucko gets so much value here. That 3-man queue at the end, I think, is what really turns the table in terms of the HP. While all that's happening, Kazi is isolated in his own kind of assassin duels as well. Really, shout out towards that Aatrox, though.
It's just 50-50, you know? Life happens. Any sums?
Okay, Kazi wasn't happy about the 50-50, but whatever, we digress. And
he just looks to his right and says, that's a 0 for Nico, friend. Maybe we need to put them back into the therapy chair.
Maybe we do. Kazi's going to have to vent a little bit more, but for Vitality, they've wiped off all the Artican. So as far as I'm concerned, even. Yes, Artican, you know, it still happened, but Even though I see gold leads for BDS, I'm seeing Vitality starting to win fights again. It's deja vu for game one as Paris is caught out. He flashes away. Pop Blossom, it catches the edge of ice with the Tangle Barbs as well. Niski's done his job. It's all about rolls as Nuko. His dive almost successful. Irrelevant with the dominance. He loses his edge of night. Re-engage for Nuko, but Linces is frontlining. He pops the ulti. Kazi reposition onto Irrelevant, carrying the fight. Almost. Irrelevant gets out. Here's TP to rejoin. Remember, it's about Baron. A pick-off enables the start.
That Renekton is very squishy. Was a little bit worried about his positioning when he went for that first play into it. And Kazi very nearly finishes him off. Doesn't want to commit that flash thing, obviously so. Both these AD carries, very, very threatening. There's only literally 1 gold between them as it stands. Ice, great disengage. Kazi very nearly turns it around. See that? Neither of these teams have a huge margin of error. This time, Niski actually does land a big ulti. Manages to get that cleanse out of Ice. Even with that Edge of Night, quite hard for him to survive. Of course, Proto Belt, one of the best tools in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's Rocket Belt. It's been many years.
Same thing, who cares? I still call it Tarby. I still call it Gravity Field. I don't know. Bro, I'm going to start using Wriggle's Lantern for jungle items at this point. Even though we don't have jungle
Bring
items.
back Deathfire Garas.
Yep.
The clone going into that too. So, Baron up and available. A little while till we have that dragon, 2 dragons apiece, so no soul points. BDS, you know, they do have a gold lead. Part of it is on a Nidalee, which doesn't, it's not as consistent use of that gold, but we have to mention it anyway, just in case those spears do land, and they start to really, really hurt. BDS have the vision control, trying to catch Niski.
Oh, caught him midway in the air. Doesn't know. It doesn't care. Paris. Beautiful stuff. BDS now with an option in front of Baron.
Nico is fragile. One of the best supports in the game if you can play around the big engage and the big lane potential. I don't think Niski's been able to do that. I think he's been punished an awful lot, and Paris has had a great game on the Blitzcrank, a champion he used to win Emir Masters before, and now Baron started up without that Nico engage.
And to Tristana, remember as well, even though Ice has lethality, all it takes is about 10 seconds. Watch it now, Nuke with IE, I'm pretty sure. It's just going to go down. Baron there, Paris does it again, a great hook onto Chayak, stunned up, but he can play the fight. Irrelevant gets out before he loses Baron, but this is an option for VDS. Watch Nuke, yet again onto Linces, who doesn't land anything, rooted up, though the ulti, Nuke slice saved by his own device. Pop Blossom comes in, hits nothing, Ice now gets the hit, Nuko's pulled in, the flash away, BDS this fight so close to going away too. Vitality are outfought.
It's a 3 for 3, but BDS still walk away with the Baron. These Nico ults are so close to getting value, but Nico needs to land some more. Great hook out of the bush. I mean, it gets onto one of your damage carries. There is a lot to break down in the micro here. I think the Crescent Guard gets a ridiculous amount of value. Nuke still gets to jump forwards though. This is the key moment. I thought that Nuke was going to get absolutely blasted. I thought that Nuko was going to be able to pop off. And the Buster Shot completely changes the tone of the fight. If that Q goes cleanly onto that Tristana, I think Nuko cleans up. He's had a great set of team fights on the Aatrox. I think he's done very well with it. Very, very nearly gets to carry.
Niski, though, face checking again. That's not good because Nuke is just here. Niski's dead. There's a reset as well. Nuke can get on out. Teleport burn for BDS, but that's because Infernal Dragon number 3 for them, or rather Dragon overall, is up.
Yeah, I don't think Nico has a 10 death power spike, folks. I don't think so. I don't think that's how that champion works.
But Paris is a hook magnet. Well, no, everyone else is. He's the hook.
The hook hitter.
Yeah.
Hook sniper.
I almost said something different.
Marksman.
He's the hook man, okay?
Sounds like it's always sunny.
It's always so close, isn't it? Soul Point. In that last fight, got to give credit to Nuko. You know, he's such a pain in this Aatrox. Twice today we've seen great team fighting Aatroxes. So caught in the moment of Nuke Soul, of Ice only just surviving, of making it so difficult. You said it was an even trade, it was. But Baron's still there. There's still a 2k gold lead. Ice needs to be careful. Realm Ward's going to be used. He's got the Edge of Night. That'll buy him some time, but he's rooted up. The Edge becomes lightning, rather. The dive is there. ISO gets damaged down as Kazi fighting from the right-hand side, but here comes Nuke again. They're still diving a mid-tier 1 turret at 30 minutes. Nuke doesn't get the reset. Explosive charge down. This 3.5 item Tristana is cleaning up, and Vitality can't stick around.
Vitality try and look for a snap play, call the bluff and try and get rid of some of the buffs. Nuke still has it though, and he's just really strong. really strong down Infinity Edge, shreds through the team of Vitality as they dive too deep. BDS still have power on the side lanes to take down an inner turret and top lane. And BDS with a 6,000 gold lead. There it is.
Boom, boom, that turret's dead.
It's just gone. Vitality in such an important game for them. Reminder, at 2 and 3. If they slide to 2 and 4, things get rough for them. They do get rough for them in terms of their playoff chances afterwards. Niski doesn't get into the realm of in time. Mistimed, presumably from Shayak there, I suppose. If you had that Nico ult coming through, which we said is one of the creative engages you can have, does it change anything? I have to say, actually, I think all it does is get Niski killed. Not sure it really changes that much, especially with the tower firing at them, but still, not what they wanted, I don't think.
Man, quick reminder, again, we talked about it before, like against G2, this is just how well Nuke did. Today, I'm sure we'll have a recall in our next BDS game and how well he did in this series, but he's stepping up to the plate big. 1-1-3 on this Nidalee as well. 3K gold lead needs to be mentioned. So mid-jungle, and I feel like I said that last game as well, mid-jungle did really well. Irrelevance had a better day, like Irrelevance getting back to his old ways of having really impactful team fighting. You know, and Ice and Paris, what a day they've had. What a series this has been. And, you know, we might not be in Madrid. Shout out to Shox, who's stranded there and with
they might just say that now. I mean, good luck getting out of it.
I guess at least he's going to Madrid permanently because Shox, if she's stuck there, yeah, we got to go to Shox. We got to go to GB. We got to go to Jack. Shout out for keeping it strong. I don't know what's going over there. But
no problema.
No, I will learn. But I had a point about this. The games this weekend have been mega hype. Today, not too bad actually. You know, this Vitality BDS series has started warming up game by game by game.
I mean, I look through grand majority of our matches happening in the LEC, and there's something which keeps me in my seat. There's something which keeps me watching these. And, you know, we have two teams here which, yes, they are going to flub some engages every now and again. They are under pressure, and they haven't figured out everything to go right with the team so far, but they are making things eventful. I think that both of these teams have found ways to make plays, to push the pace of the game further forward. I think they've tried to seal themselves into some identities. Vitality, I mean, credit to them, they have cooked. Now, there might be smoke coming out of the kitchen, but they have cooked something. And BDS, I mean, they've fallen back on a little bit of comfort now from this game 3, playing around that double poke. Nuke something like that, Tristan has always been, it has been something which has been very powerful for him in recent years.
I mean, Nuke is, and will continue to be, the star of this team that keeps on shining for BDS. How do they enable him? 4 items on this Tristana. Navori Quick Blades means that E is permanently off a cooldown. If he stays in a side wave, they lose the base. That's the threat now with 6 grubs. That's what BDS can play towards because, look, Baron's up in 30 seconds. Nuke stays on top even despite having the teleport. Dragon's up a little bit after that as well. BDS are leveraging how much vision they have, how much control they have of enemy jungle right now. With Vitality to step in, need.
These spears are scaring off of Blue Man and unlike the percussive group, I don't think this is supposed to be towards the Morg instead. Minutes, all that Dragon as you're saying. Fighting over the mid lane push, obviously very look for the extra cooldowns. That scares me, man. It scares me.
I mean, that's a rise with HP as well. 1-1-3, like we said, it's a matter about scaling in this game. Where's the frontline tank? Who can keep poke from Ice doesn't mean too much. He loses his dot sent away. That's Nuke's ulti. Quick, not just a good-looking drink. He looks freaking amazing on Nico as well. No, the remnants of the fight. One from Vitality. And
when they needed him the most, the Nico lands the ult. Those 6 studs, just forget about them. Vitality might have just gotten what it takes to crack open the game.
Look at the death time. It's 40 seconds, 30 seconds. Maybe it is. I mean, screw the grubs. They've got enough damage between the 5 of them. It's a wipe. Realm Warp in as well. Paris, he ain't sleeping well tonight. BDS had this game, but from mid lane to support, his one moment in the sun shows up big. Vitality. 3 and 3, knocking the smile off BDS's face.
When they needed him most, Niski answered. It was a rough game. I'm not going to put that in the Hall of Fame for Nico support, but it did exactly what it needed to at that last possible moment. It felt like it was so hard to close it out.
I'm looking at Pat on stage, shaking his hand.
Yeah, us too.
They jumped on Niski. I mean, look, big shout out to the resilience of Vitality in this game. Like, that felt like BDS is right in the palm of their hands. And
I mean, that's crucial. This is so crucial because if Vitality had lost that, they slide to 2-4. This brings them now to 3 wins instead.
Yep.
And I think Nagnako had an excellent series. You can vote now for your Kia player of the series, Nagnako, Kazi, or Niski over on X as well. I have no idea how they managed to walk away from that game state. They did. They made it through to a pretty insane late game in what, again, seemed like a BDS comfort position. Double poke, late game scaling.
They know, like Chiag is laughing, they know that game was an insane turn. Like, that was BDS's game to lose, and lose it they did. As Naimira said before, Nagnako, Kazi, or Niski. I actually think this is a Niski. Look, hear me out, hear me out.
Are you kidding me?
Series, game 2, he knows he entered a little bit. But
what about game
based
3?
on game 3, I don't know, one ulti deserves MVP, does it? That's a question.
Just cut the rest of the tape.
Nagnako deserves MVP. I think Nagnako is insane.
I mean, that Aatrox
guy is insane.
I mean, the Rumble, absolutely absurd. I think the Aatrox is absolutely insane as well. I think my vote will go towards him.
I think that's fair. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want more like that, remember, LEC will come to Madrid for 2025 Summer Finals. Tickets will go on sale May 12th, but you can register for the pre-sale now on lec.gg/pre-sale. I think there's an exclamation mark at the end. Pre-sale is live until May 11th, so you can secure your tickets now. Guys, I would go, because Madrid, the energy in that arena, if we're going to that arena, that's 10K. If we're going to a bigger arena, that's more than 10K. It looks good. It looks pretty good, and I have to say, God, I just can't believe they won that game.
Me neither. But that is something we've known to be a little bit the case in LEC, and this is one of the powerful things about this kind of competition for them too. It does feel like you give yourself a competition like that, you give yourself the option to get that big team fight win.
We need an insight from Kazi and Ginny standing by, because Kazi knows that game looked lost. I'm going to be real.
You know, let's ask him ourselves. Ginny here joined with Kazi in the Marriott Bonvoy post-game check-in. I mean, even when you guys were on the Nexus, your coaches came out running, and I'm not going to repeat what they said because it's not broadcast appropriate, but what was that?
I have no idea. I mean, I thought the game is like kind of lost, but then Niski finally did something after running it down, you know, the entire game. So I was pretty happy about this engage that he found.
Yeah, let's talk about Niski, I guess. You guys, last week had a really good week. Today, a little back and forth. You know, the level 1s are maybe not necessarily up to what you would expect. How do you keep it composed? Because, like, I know AD carries. They're tilt, like, very fast.
I mean, I'm playing with Niski. He's, like, new to the role, you know. He's playing against people that play the role for, like, 10 years, not 10 years, like 8 years, 7 years, right? And he's playing support for, like, 2 months, I'd say. So I am trying to be very patient when it comes to like mistakes and stuff like this, and just give him the space. And he was talking about Nico the entire week.
Okay.
Like we were not trusting him on it so much, but we still gave him the opportunity to play it, and he didn't fail us.
Yeah, eventually, right? So you should be happy about that. You guys have another win under your belt. When it comes to this game and the series in general as well, I feel like Nagnako is one of the players that is continuously showing up, and he's really kind of like becoming that anchor for Vitality. How does the role of like you, bot lane, AD carry, interact with that top laner? Because you guys are so far apart on that map. How do you make sure that neither one of you actually tilts and you both come out on the other side victorious?
I mean, I think that we are like kind of chill team. We don't really get tilted in game no matter how bad it goes. We are pretty good at winning from behind most of the times in like practice and stuff, so we are used to it, you know. I think we are kind of lucky to have Nak because he's kind of always winning his lane no matter what, you know. So it makes stuff a lot easier for us on bot lane.
Yeah, you're talking about just playing from behind and being able to come back. I feel like the resilience as well from the side of Vitality has really shown, and you guys are looking at, you know, we're looking at a chill team. We're looking at a team that even though, I mean, we've seen it, you guys are down in the dumpster, you're still able to keep on going. How do you actually make sure that a team is like that? How do you build the vibes?
I don't really think there is like a real way to build it. It's kind of, I'd say about luck, like how the personalities fit well with each other. And I think we are really lucky because we have like 5 funny guys, you know, that take stuff
Who's the
easily.
funniest?
I mean, for sure it's me.
Really? Do you think they would agree with that?
I mean, I think Niski is quite funny, like his Nico was really funny. And maybe I'm the second after him.
All right. Is there any champion that you think you could play that would make you funny?
My funny champion? I had Corky, funny champion, like last week.
Yeah, I'm glad you remember that. Well, thank you so much for the interview, Karzi. We're going to be heading over to PGL with Lord Odo and Niski. Do you maybe want to say anything to Niski about this, Nico? Do you want him to play it again?
You shortened my lifespan.
All right, well, Lord, take it away.
How could I recover from this? Niski, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Do you hear that often from him?
Yes, I mean, I think today I deserved it. Like, game 3.
But you guys are a match made in heaven, because I also feel like there's plenty of times where Karzi shortens your lifespan as well.
I mean, actually today I felt like it was the first day where I was kind of running it.
That's true.
First day,
But
huh? Yeah, first
at
day,
least,
sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
I mean, first day I was running it, you know. But I feel like we stayed in, like mentally at least. I think, for example, for game 1, when they're playing like Seraphine Ash. And then
That's annoying.
yeah, and then
That's
I'm like, I
that
just have
was
to get
painful.
through lane and we'll probably win. But lane, it's like very annoying.
You didn't get through that lane.
And then that lane looked rough, yeah, when I flashed in. But I mean, yeah, we came back. I mean, I did one good flash and then we kind of won the game. That's
Yeah.
usually how these matchups go, right? So
How do you feel like it's been the transition? Because I don't feel like we've heard from you enough. Because it always feels like, you know, going to mid game and stuff like this. It's obviously a lot of the strengths that you had from coming from mid lane, reading the map, you know, picking good fights and stuff like this. Everything is good there, but it feels like the roughest part of your game has been like, you know, the first 10 minutes of the laning phase. You're kind of locked. You know, you don't really know the matchups because there's a lot of like random matchups. How
Stop
has
roasting him like this.
I've been diplomatic, as I mean, me and Niski go way back. I could just like, you know,
Fair enough.
rip it a lot harder, you know. But
All right.
okay, Niski, you sucked in lane. How do you get better at lane so far? How does it work?
Legit question, actually.
I mean,
It's her fault.
to be fair, lane is kind of hard, to be fair, because there's like too many combos. And then today, for example, I played against like Seraphine and Seraphine Ash. Like first time I play against it, for example, right?
Yeah,
or
that's
like
crazy.
supports that play for 10 years, they know it probably. I don't know when I can go. I don't know when I can get chased. Like, can I combo in? Do I just die? And yeah, I think that's like the hardest part. I would say also, I think on stage, like the lanes are way different than in scrims. I feel like in scrims, we survive those lanes. Maybe on stage it's actually harder than in scrims. But I think, yeah, we kind of get through lane with Kaz right now. I mean, I know he likes to win lane, but I told him, like, I mean, I don't think we're going to win like every lane right now because like I just came to the support role. And yeah, I mean, I also talked with Pad and he believes that like at the end of the split, I should be fine in lane and then he would be happy with that. But I think, yeah, right now I still need time for the laning phase at least. And yeah, I'm working on it.
What do you feel like you got better at since playing support?
I think playing for tempo, I think I did overstay a lot in the first weeks. I think now once a play is gone, I just space and then like I open the other side and whatever. I also think I don't really die for fun as often as I did in the first weeks. And then yeah, I think just generally in the mid game, I think I'm usually on the right side of the map, which is nice, I would say, to have a support that knows what they're supposed to be. And I think just knowing what like enemies do, I think that's something I did a lot when I was a mid laner, and I feel like I implemented that this week as well. And I feel like it makes my life easier because I know what they're gonna do, and then I know what I'm supposed to do as well. So yeah, just mid game, I would say.
I'm curious a little bit, because yeah, you had this transition from mid to support. Obviously, I don't really know how much you're playing. You're planning on staying support for. Do you feel like there's been any big thing that you realize that maybe potentially going in the future when you go back to mid lane is gonna elevate your game? And if so, what would that be?
I would say it's mostly about like the early game. I actually thought that like supports can kind of go mid whenever they want. I mean, felt like it when we played against like G2, for example, when they had like Caps Mickey. I felt like Mickey could be there on like any wave. But actually, like moving to mid is kind of hard as support. Your AD gets a bit behind, or like you lose some tempo and whatnot. And if it doesn't work, like your lane is lost on
You're
bot.
behind XP and
Yeah, it's like
everything.
you need a lot of these things that I didn't know before. And yeah, now I get way more knowledge, I guess, of the game as well. And yeah, I think if I would go back to mid, yeah, for sure, I think what I'm learning now would help me as well.
You got Kia Player of the Series today.
I did?
Congratulations. You know, it's so bad because Corsi was like, oh, Ginny was like, well, I don't know. You're laughing as well. I think it's deserved because you got the engage that won you guys the game.
Game one as well.
Yeah.
I did get
You
the
did good.
engages. That one was the game, like...
The thing is, I'm
Stop
laughing.
bullying Niski.
No, I'm laughing. At home, the chattermen who are all chatting
is
there,
true.
pressing the button to vote Niski, they're all so passive-aggressive. And I know that they're doing it.
That was amazing, though.
Was crazy. Who cares that you were like 0-6 or
I
something?
didn't. Like every time I was dying, I swear, like I could feel it in their eyes. Like, what is this guy doing with his Nico? You know?
Is it also the silence, you know, where you like die and no one says
Yeah,
anything?
I'm dead. And I'm like, guys, it's fine. I'm up in 15. Like no one says it's okay. Like. Yeah,
Just like for
but
fun.
yeah, I mean, hard Nico game, I would say. I don't know. I wanted to test it, but
To be honest,
We
it's
brought the lowlights and the highlights.
the belt, like.
because you know I was watching this and I'm like, surely he didn't have proto belt, and then I see you use proto belt
Yeah.
after. I'm like, oh Niski, what are you doing? No, but the engage was crazy, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's right because you entered a little bit. I feel like it's deserved because even though you know. I feel like a lot of the time you're kind of the silent hero where, yeah, sure, you are behind, but especially when you're behind, it's a lot harder to find these sorts of plays,
Of
right?
course.
So that's where
You
yeah,
were-
I mean, I think when
yeah.
you're behind as support on stage,
you're a little
I mean,
snack.
you definitely need like some mental, I would say, because I think you can easy go to like 0-1, 0-2, 0. Like you're kind of useless, but like for example on the Alistar, we said, oh, we want to dive top. I was like, sure, and then I just engaged. And we had
I'm just gonna
account,
go
and
in.
We just killed them, and we ended.
Do you understand Hilly's pain?
I do, yeah. I mean, in scrims, it's way easier. On stage, everyone thinks about your cooldowns, your flash and stuff. But yeah, I mean, for sure, I think it's not an easy role.
Is there any specific support players from or like want to take inspiration from?
I mean,
maybe?
I watch a lot of the light, actually.
Mhm.
I think the light is really good. And then I watch Keria. From LPL, I watch On. As of now, that's only these ones that I watch. I usually watch like a lot of them, depending on what I want to practice. Like, if just watch like everyone playing the champ, right? But yeah, the light, I think, is.
Because, for example, if I would be, you know, role swapping to maybe like ADC or support or like even jungle, it feels like all of this, you know, this autopilot that you have when you watch mid lane to especially transition this to the support role, because you can't really be like, oh, how did he play lane? What can I learn from this? So I feel like a lot of the heavy lifting is done for you, because I feel like most of the VODs you can only watch just, you know, rotations and stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, I usually watch their team fights, right? Because I think, for example, like the completely different than like every Alistar in EU, maybe except June, right? And I feel like there's just these little things like when does he show, when does he like use, when does he use ult, where does he ward before a Drake, like stuff like this, I think can be very like interesting to watch. And yeah, I don't think I can go and watch the lane and see perfectly what he does, right? But I would say just kind of I'm trying to think like it was the same thing of his POV of like, okay, why does he do this? And then why does he not use combo there? And I think on support it's kind of harder because sometimes you're in a fight, late game fight, and you're Alistar and you have one combo. Then it's like, do I actually combo the support that's like next to me? So it's just.
Because pinging it's the other one actually, but actually we're gonna stay on this. We're gonna stay on this. Let's stay on this one. A lot of banter. Adam
my
chiming
boy.
in because he
My
has
boy.
to. He's on the hate. Yeah, I mean,